Thinking about upgrading your home? Hello, I'm Philip Pantana. Whether you want a modern kitchen, a stunning bathroom, a sturdy deck, or even a brand new addition, our company, Perimeter Remodeling and Restoration, can make it happen. From quick interior repairs to full-scale renovations, homeowners trust us for expert craftsmanship and excellent service, always delivered with the care you deserve. Schedule your free consultation now at perimeterva.com. Call or text 434-515-2868.
Broadcasting from Watts Creative Studios and live on Grove Street FM, you're listening to Talk Local to Me, brought to you by the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Talk Local to Me. I'm Heather Alto with the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
And I'm Mike Norfield with Visiting Angels of Lynchburg, America's Choice in Home Care.
Awesome. Well, I'm sorry I missed you guys last week.
Yeah.
Why did I miss you guys last week? I figured there was something. I
think you had a massage or something.
I did not have. I wish I had a massage. No, I was setting up for the home show.
Oh.
And
yeah, that.
Setup went a little bit longer than I thought it was going to. But
the show went great. So we went by Saturday and visited some of the vendors. It was a great turnout.
It was a fantastic turnout. For us to have hosted it the first time in 5 years, we got a lot of really great response to the event. Our vendors had a great day. Saturday was steady, all day long. Sunday was a little slow, but that's typical for an event, especially on a Sunday with people going to church.
A little rainy.
And you go to church, you have family time. You're going to go back to work on Monday. So sometimes it's like, I just need Sunday for myself. Heck, I was thinking that while I was at the home show. I was like, I would like to go home and
I thought about it while I was
take a little nap
at work.
But overall, very, very, I'm pleased. I'm very pleased with our first year. And, our hope is it just gets bigger and better as we continue to grow it and see, the more vendors that we can get in. And I always like to tweak events after I do them, see what worked, see what didn't work.
I think look and see what went great and what could be improved, things like that. That's always good.
I think that's always important. So, if you're out there and you do events or you do things like that, it's always great to take that constructive criticism because, I went around Sunday and chatted with all of my vendors and, I was kind of like, what were some good takeaways? What do you think we could improve on? How did you think, what did you think about this? What did you think about that? Because I would much rather get that feedback so that I don't make that same mistake again. Or if it's something you can improve upon, you can do. And I think that's something you also should look at in your business as well. Yeah, exactly. What can you improve upon? And, Mike and I talked a lot. Last week's show, I got to listen into some of it while I was, still at the setup and listening to, y'all taking some of the things y'all learned at our Lead On Summit. And growing.
I was a presenter at Lead On and we went back and we looked at our own culture and things like that. And what can we do to be better? And one thing we realized is we have this great culture, but we don't communicate that to our employees enough. So we now reach out to every single one of our employees. We have a new system in place where once a month they'll get a phone call from us to be like, hey, just want to see how are things going? What can we do better? Kind of just like your event review kind of going, how are things going? How do you feel they're going? Not just assuming from the office that they haven't called and had any problems. So everything's great. And we got some very interesting feedback from those questions. So, it was really good. Yeah.
So that's something I kind of encourage people to do. And we're, going to start talking a little bit more and kind of looking at tweaking Talk Local to Me a little bit. We love coming on here and having our guests and talking about their businesses. And I think that's still important. And we're going to continue with that. But I think we're going to also try to incorporate more to Talk Local to Me in the way of having topics that you're learning from while you're listening to our guests. So it's not necessarily just oh, here's what I do, here's who I am, because that's great too. But most of our guests also they're really knowledgeable about whether it's various pieces of their business or, topics that people that are listening in can associate with their own business. And how do we incorporate that into it? So
while it's a lot of fun to learn about new businesses in our area or even businesses that have been around a while that we really don't know much about. Like we know that Visiting Angels is America's Choice in Home Care. I'm going to get that slogan.
I got you.
But like, we don't necessarily know, like, we know about different businesses, things like that. It's great to learn about them, but it's also great to, as a business owner, to get tips from other industries and different viewpoints of how to do business better.
Yeah. And I really feel like right now, and first of all, next week, we are super excited because we will be celebrating our 200th episode.
Oh, is that next week?
I believe so.
Oh, I'm not here
am I
next week.
correct, Woody? I'm pretty sure that's right. That's what day I have on my calendar.
Hold on, I'm getting staff on that right now.
Okay, yeah, just
we have the
verify
whole
that for me.
team, yeah.
I think I'm
Would
out
be
of town
fabulous.
next week. I don't think I'm here. No,
Well,
I'm just kidding.
Well, then I guess I'll be kicking off show number 200 like I did show number 1.
There you go.
By myself.
Do we have a food sponsor?
Working on that.
Ooh.
Working on having some food here so that we can eat and chat. But it's kind of cool. We're going into our 200th episode. So we're going to change some things up and, looking how we can make the next 200 a little bit different. I wouldn't say better.
It will be
but
200.
different. Yeah, 200.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
$199 is
$199 today,
Wow.
friends. I'm so excited.
Wow.
So very excited. So, y'all have been listening to me yap for 4 years now.
It's been horrible.
But, we've had some great guests and some great insights. And Mike and I are actually going to do a fun little, little.
We're going to do
awards
like
next-
if you're a fan of The Office, we're going to do Dundies, but I don't know what, maybe we'll.
the talk local to me.
Yeah.
The talk.
The talkie.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. We'll come up with a fun name. I don't know if we can do talkies because I think that's an actual award.
Right.
I think we might get a slap on the wrist for that one. I'm not
Look,
sure.
I'll come up with something.
I need to effort that.
Yeah, it'll be fun. But yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at doing. We want to change some things up. Want to keep Talk Local to Me fresh and, have you guys listening in and wanting to come back for more each week. Make sure you're subscribing and, clicking the little notification bell. So when it comes on, you're hitting that Grove Street FM app and
I
listening live.
think it's great because I think we every once in a while we have repeat guests.
Yeah.
Samantha talking to you. Every once in a while we have repeat guests, but like we kind of know about their business. Let's learn what they do well and maybe they could bring a topic and kind of educate us a little bit more about talk about Samantha, like talking about QuickBooks, like why is it important and how do you grow your business through in that area.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I feel like right now, maybe a little bit more than ever in the past, 3 to 4 years, things are, things are happening around our country. I'm not getting political because I just don't do that. But,
it's episode 199, but with tariffs, it's episode 304.
Right. But small business owners right now are already starting to worry. We're already seeing small business owners concerned about tariffs that are going into place. How is that going to affect their business? And a lot of times when stuff like that happens, you see them shifting how they're doing business and, what are they cutting? What are they keeping? How are they hoping to make money, but also save money at the same time? So,
to be smart with their funds.
Yeah. So I think if we're, on our end and we're incorporating these ideas, then there may be things that you can hear that you can, build into your business. So.
Yeah.
So with that, we're gonna chat with our first guest.
We didn't have any experts available, so
so we went with
today. I'm teasing.
No, just
I'm
playing. And Jesse is actually going to be sitting in on both of our guests because he also ties into our second guest that's coming in as well. But Jesse Reynolds, he's here with Reynolds Incorporated. Did I say that correctly?
For sure.
Yeah. All right. Great. So Jesse does.
What doesn't Jesse do?
I'm going to use my favorite word. Jesse does a plethora of
that
things.
word means a lot to me.
I don't do admin.
You don't do admin.
I don't do paperwork.
He also, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I feel like, no offense. I love you, Jesse, but I can't see the admin piece of it factoring in. I will say he's done very much better with very much. That's not really even a word, but he has done much better on the time management piece of things. I love Jesse.
Early here.
Yeah. You were here before me.
10:53, he rolled in the parking lot. Not that I was keeping track.
Yeah.
But 10:53.
Nice
I was just
car.
like, what?
Nice car, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mike's got a new car every time I look.
Oh no, I've had that one quite a while.
Yeah. It's not the nice branded Visiting Angels.
It's not. So,
but that kind of leads me into
coming soon.
What we're going to chat about, like the marketing versus advertising versus branding, because there's so many words people throw out there, but I feel like they mean different things to different people.
Advertising has a terrible connotation, and marketing is kind of working its way towards that bad connotation. Like, oh, the M word.
Yeah.
So bad.
Well, I feel like right now, again, with small businesses trying to get their name out, advertising, marketing, branding, whatever you want to call it, is going to be very important for business owners, because they're going to want to make sure that they are, putting their brand out there, making sure people know what they're doing, but they're going to want to do it on a budget that they can afford. And I feel like, and you can correct me when I'm wrong, but I feel like when things like this happen, you see that budget is the first to kind of
it's the first to get cut.
It goes out the window because they think, oh, I can do it better, or I can do less. But in reality, you can't do less. Like, you've got to continue it.
You actually have to do it smarter. Like in 2020, I had a lot of college clients buying merch from me, and that was the first thing to go. Like, that merch marketing budget in 2020 after COVID, the first thing to go, which it kind of made me need to diversify a little bit. And that kind of like pushed me into, hey, you're selling merch, but now you're also doing video, authentic video. Because to your point earlier, I do think the generation that's coming up, like the age range that's coming up, having a little more buying power right now, they can't be tricked by the corny marketing commercials anymore. Like, they understand they're not just buying because you have a used car sales commercial come on the TV.
Right.
Like, you got to build some more authenticity. You got to build real trust, because it's not as easy as it used to be. You're not sending out magazine ads anymore that are converting sales.
I think that kind of goes into the talk I did at Lead On about building authentic relationships with businesses, because if you have an authentic relationship, like you were saying, they do tend to trust you more. So if you were to come in and say, like, this is what I think you need as far as your branding and your marketing and your advertising, it's different than just that use, kind of like you were talking about that cars. No offense to car salesmen that are out there listening, but like,
if you're not corny, you're good.
Yeah. If you're, instead of having you just walk in there and try and push a sale on them, because nowadays people can smell a sale coming a lot like that, sale a mile away. You can't just walk in and
you can tell when it's a sales pitch and when it's genuine.
Which is another reason I kind of got away from only, hey, you're the pen guy, you're the t-shirt guy. That is a big reason I got away from that, because when that is my only sales solution, guess what? That's the solution that I'm going to be pitching and selling. And I don't like that. I did not like being pigeonholed into that piece of the marketing pie that was just like, all I can do is sell you this pen, which I can do. That's great. But if that's not the best fit, that's not going to behoove you. That's not going to give you the best ROI. That's not what I want to do.
And then that also undercuts you when people go, well, I can just get that on Amazon. And, we push a whole lot of supporting local, but I feel like when people are looking for things like that, pens and notebooks and like
a
little
lot of people
promo.
are looking for, like, I want a pen that's 19 cents, right? Like, you're not going to find that, right?
Yeah,
and
it'll be bad.
You may have a 19-cent pen, but it's not going to write well. And we accidentally ordered pens for our office that were actually really nice. They were a great price, and we don't buy pens for our office. We just use our marketing pens, right? Our that have our name on it. And so you've got to find something that's quality to give away, and something that people will want and not just throw away, right? I can't tell you how many. Not the home show, because I was very selective about what I took. So I only took what I would use. But like, I've gone to like health fairs and things like that, and you get stuff and then you get back to the office and it's like, I don't want this. And you kind of toss it, right? Like, you want to make sure you have that.
And the dollar's wasted. When
right.
That happens.
Right.
And it's funny you mentioned that at the home show, because I have been to many, many home shows and expos where a lot of the people that are coming through, they're adult trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
I say that it's adult trick-or-treating. Right. They come through, they get all the pens, they get all the cups. I used to be, oh my gosh, many years ago, when I worked for the chamber. Yeah. We used to do an expo at the beginning of, like, end of September, beginning of October. Yeah. Do you know I actually had a lady that came and told me that she got candy so she could use it for trick-or-treating in October? I kid you not. Was honest as the day is long, came in and was just like, this is where I get my trick-or-treating candy. And she came and took candy off everybody's table.
That's resourceful.
Crazy, but it happens.
Yeah.
I've been called things. El Cheapo is one of my nicknames. I don't think I've ever done that. I don't think I've ever even thought.
Yeah. She straight up was, I mean, she honestly, she was like, yeah, I'm going to get some trick-or-treat candy.
I joke that when it comes to money, I'm so tight I squeak when I walk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't like spending money I don't have to spend. Like, I'll spend it if I need to, but I don't like to just frivolously go out.
But I noticed at the home show, there were not very many of our vendors that had a lot of what I would consider items that people could just take home.
Right.
And it was a lot of very genuine conversations happening between the people coming in and, you know, the vendors. It wasn't just I'm here to grab all of your pens and take the cups and stuff.
Right.
So that was really cool.
They did have some great giveaways, though.
Oh, we had some great
There were
raffles.
some great giveaways.
That cowboy hat that was lit.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Rogers, they killed it.
Yeah. After we left, like the next day, Sheena and I were like, I wish we got in a hat now. Like, you know,
I've got one you can have.
No, it's okay.
Because I won't
I'm
wear
good.
it.
You got it in the car?
I'm good.
I don't have it in the car, but
It'd
I
match your
have
shirt.
one.
Yeah.
But
They would, wouldn't it?
so speaking to like advertising, marketing, things like that, what is the difference? Is there a difference between like advertising and marketing or branding? Like, what are the differences?
So the branding and marketing difference is the most stark contrast. It's like branding is building the foundation of your house. Branding is the Visiting Angels shirt that I think Mike has on. And marketing is the way he promotes it, the way he walks around and talks about Visiting Angels and what they do.
Okay.
So it's like the vehicle and the engine, and then driving it.
So you need both. You need to be able to brand yourself, and you need to be able to market yourself.
And if you brand yourself really well, the marketing gets easy and smooth. So if you change the oil in your car the right way, the driving gets a lot smoother.
Right.
Okay.
I like
It's almost passive.
And like, so we opened our doors January 2nd, 2017, right? Open for business and started doing magazine ads and like magazine ads all over the place and billboards and different things like that, right? And of course we have our national commercials because we're part of a national brand, locally owned and operated, just for the record. And so we were branding for the first 7 years. And then when I kind of looked at our budget and everything that we were spending on magazine ads and things like that, and we didn't really have a lot of ROI or return on investment with that we could track, right? But we had gotten our name out there. We moved our office. We were a lot more visible. Our reputation had built to the point to where people were telling other people about us. So right now we don't do a lot of marketing because our phone rings off the hook. And like, I don't want to be the company that like every time you call us, we're like, we can't help you. We can't help you. We can't help you. We were that company for 6 months, right? Because our phone was ringing so much that we couldn't add clients quick enough. And we were referring everything out to our competitors. So we had to take a step and like grow and take a next step. And we did that starting in like September. We hired Tiana to come on board and kind of tasked her with like, all right, let's build a better structure and a better flow in our office and be able to grow and actually bring on clients. And it's been successful and we've grown quite a bit. So
that's a concept I do want to hit on, like outselling, out marketing your own self. Because I was doing that for a long time. I'd go out there and propose and sell and market myself and all my services. And then it was like the fulfillment on the back end has to be set up. The operation has to be set up.
You've got to have the follow through
to be able to handle
it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, then you deal with the backlash of people then trashing you, coming out and saying, well, I used him, but he didn't get this in a timely manner. Or this didn't happen in a timely manner. And then
I didn't like the person they sent me.
Yeah.
Things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then you get that as well. So that's, absolutely. So right now with things that are going on and businesses being concerned about their funds and what's happening and, potential, is there anything, and I'm asking this in general to anyone, it doesn't have to necessarily be Jesse, but what are some suggestions you would give to business owners right now that potentially are looking at, do I keep doing my advertising, my marketing, or should I be doing something different right now versus what I've been doing? Or do you just say kind of stay the course?
I definitely say stay the course. Don't freak out. I think everything's going to be okay.
I'm going to disagree with you.
Ooh,
I like it. And here's what I'm going to say.
I wish I had a bill. I wish I had like a...
So you're not wrong.
I know.
I like that.
I know that.
I like that. I would give you the same answer. But so it's just like after the lead on thing, like we were talking about our culture, we went back and looked at everything we do to see if we were doing it right. Like you've got to stay the course, and some things you have to keep doing and you have to keep doing it well. But you've also got to look at everything you do and make sure, like, is this the right thing for me? right? So, and you can't just go, well, this isn't right, so I'm going to stop it. What are you going to do in place of it? Like, you have to have a solution, not just a problem, right? So I'm going to stick with you and say, like, yes, you've got to keep being persistent and pushing out there, but you also want to look at it objectively and go, is this the right thing for me? Because just because when the economy is easy, when our phone is ringing off the hook, it's easy for us to do our marketing and our advertising, because no matter what we do, if our phone keeps ringing, like, it's not necessarily because of the advertising and the marketing. It might be word of mouth. It might be our reputation. It might be all sorts of things. So we've got to make sure that we're being smart with what we do as well. And if you've been doing it and it's been working, it gives you good return on investment, things like that, definitely keep doing it. Right. But if you're like, like we were doing magazine ads in 3 different magazines. Okay. And I couldn't tell you a single client that I got from those magazine ads. Doesn't mean that they were bad. But it means that we didn't see an investment on that. So when we did have to cut our budget some, that's one of the first things I cut, and our business wasn't affected when I cut it. So that let me see, like, okay, that's not the best fit for us all the time. Do we still advertise in magazines? Yes. We just don't do it every single issue. Right. Because that can be a great way for us to get our name and stuff out there. But, when for a company like us, so we are not like a shoe company that like, hey, we got 25% off, come see us. That's not what our advertisement is. It's the same message, the same branding consistently every time. And I actually found, even though it's boring, right, that when we ran one ad in one of the magazines, the same exact ad for 6 months, right? I have a whole marketing team with Visiting Angels that will generate ads for us that are customized for us with our information, things like that. But we have like cookie cutter things that we can kind of pick from that meet the branding guidelines and things like that. When I ran the same ad 6 months in a row, we had more calls that we could tie to the magazine than when we changed the ad every month, because it just became where people saw it and it stuck with them. Consistency.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. Speaking of magazine ads, though, shameless plug, you should get the issue of Lynchburg Business right now, because yours truly is in that issue.
Heather
Brooke Alto. No, I did. I got highlighted as an empowered woman in our area.
That's great.
So, check that out. And I'm going to talk about 2 other things with magazines, but I'm going to do that later, because I do want to toot our CVABC horn on some awards we won, and we'll chat about that towards the end of the show today when I chat about events. But I'm really excited for that. But I agree with you guys. I think people do need to stay the course. That was one thing, even when COVID hit and the marketing budgets were just going out the window. Right. I saw where more of our members who kept marketing and kept putting their name out there, even in the times where you weren't going out, like you were just staying at home, people still saw it. And so when stuff started to pick back up, who did they go to? That's who. They went to the people that they were still continuously seeing in front of their faces, more so than those that just all of a sudden said, oh, I'm just going to start doing this again.
So Visiting Angels joined CVABC right before COVID, like 2019, end of 2019, right?
Yep.
And so when, I don't know where we were, it might've been a coffee talk, something, it might've been where we had to do something online, and you said, this is not the time to cut your marketing budget. This is the time to invest in your future. Mm-hmm. So I took it to the extreme and like almost tripled our marketing budget and started spending more. But we doubled in size over COVID. We lost half our business in one day because all the facilities shut us out. Right. Thank you. And so we added to our budget instead of cutting it back, because I'm like, all right, there's something to this. Let's see. And we lost all our business all pretty much in one day, because the facilities all got the mandate from CMS or whatever that they couldn't have outside visitors coming in. They needed to limit exposure to their residents and things like that. So half our business was in facilities. So we lost that. So 3 days later, we had 5% more business than we originally had when we started losing. So like we added it all back in 3 days, which is insane. I don't ever want to do that again, but very grateful that happened. And it was because people didn't want to put their parents in facilities where they, like, if I put my parents in here, I can't visit. Like, so they kept them home, through COVID, and some went to facilities after that, once things opened back up and things like that. But we managed to recover that business, but then we also grew that business and doubled in size over the next year.
You probably grabbed some from the competition that did not keep the train rolling.
Right. Yeah. And of course we were fairly new. We were only 2 years old at that point, right? 2 to 2.5 years old. So we were, we're still one of the smaller agencies in town, which, we can call it boutique, whatever, better customer service, whatever. But we we were, one of the smallest, but we grew the most, like percentage wise or anything, and a lot of my competitors lost a lot of business because they lost access to the same facilities we did, but their home care side didn't grow anywhere close to what we did. Even if you just took it hour for hour, right, of care, they didn't grow as much as we did because they cut the marketing budget, right? Because, a lot of people are like, oh, home care has a big margin. It doesn't. Mm-hmm. So I'm here to tell you, it doesn't. It takes a lot of work for us to be able to keep things going and do things smartly. And smartly?
That's a word.
Smarter.
Yeah. We work smarter, not harder. But it took a lot for us to keep going, but because we invested into the community and doing different things to be able to get our name out there, it really helped us grow. And now we've got people calling us that like, I won't even call your competitors. If you can't get me services right now, we had somebody that the person used to work in healthcare and they called us and we were like, we don't have enough staff right now to be able to staff you. They were in the Bedford area. We can't staff that yet. They waited a month for us to get people that could go and provide them services because they wouldn't talk to anybody else because they knew our reputation in our company.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I know you guys probably know, I know Mike does. I don't know if Jesse does, but like when COVID hit, I worked really, really hard with our local media.
If you say pivot, I'm leaving.
I didn't. I said I worked really, really hard.
I know.
I worked really, really hard with our local media to work with them to provide some sort of discount or service to small businesses that encourage them to keep marketing, but encouraged, because honestly, when they drop the marketing, media sales are your sales reps aren't getting people through the door, so we were trying to kind of help both ends.
And a lot of them are just purely commission paid.
Right. So we were trying to help both ends. So actually, I am currently reaching out to some of our media right now or some of our businesses that do advertising branding.
Right.
And trying to put together a similar package that people can utilize just going into this kind of like uncertain time. Like maybe we just do it for, a month or two and just say, hey, we're going to have this added on. So when they join, they can utilize more benefits to help with their marketing and media. Cause the Central Virginia Business Coalition, I think that's one of the things we do really well is we provide businesses other opportunities to work with media or advertising to help our businesses grow. It's not just a business that you join and you pay the money and it's just like, okay, yes, we have the networking, we do events, but we're really trying to focus on what the needs are that could potentially help your business grow too.
Right.
In different ways. And I'm very passionate about that. And I am not afraid to ask anyone for anything. Like I will call Woody and say, Woody, I need free this. And Woody will say, yes, ma'am. No, I'm just kidding. But I will. Like, I am going to be chatting with Woody about some things and, different stuff. Like,
better hope that check clears.
I'm not, I know, right? Yeah. But I just think that if there are ways we can help a business grow or promote themselves at a fraction, even if it's a smaller bit, a smaller cost, that they can use to put towards something else in their business that they, need, whether it's buying more, especially with retail right now. If this, tariffs are coming in, stuff is going to be charged more for them to get anything into their stores. They're going to have to raise the prices to customers. Customers aren't going to want to pay it. And that's where the problem is right now. They're panicking because how do we alleviate some of this stuff?
Well, and what you've done with the packages, like you've kind of scaled with all your connectability.
I like it. Connectability.
We've scaled with all your connectability and put these packages together at a fraction of the cost because you have so many members that you've connected with.
Right.
Like you're just leveraging all these connections to put the packages together for marketing.
Yeah.
These businesses.
Yeah. And I feel like if this is episode 199, like I've said this 3,212 times, that a lot of people get into business because they have a passion for something, right? So you've got like, they may make soaps or they may have goats and like Jeffrey's Funny Farm, things like that. Like it may have started with like a passion for animals and then they kind of grew it into a business. They didn't have a passion for marketing. They didn't have a passion for bookkeeping. They didn't have a passion for this, that, or the other. And so the CVABC gives resources to where like I would have never thought even so. We're like I said, we're part of a national brand that has a lot of resources. Like, and they put billboards up when we first opened our office and things like that around town. They advertised on radio. They have like for us. They advertised in magazines for us. Like just as a hey, Visiting Angels is in town now, right? And I never would have thought, as a small business owner in a small 900 square foot office off Old Forest Road that nobody knows where it is, nobody could ever find it, that I would be able to go out and get billboards. But when we joined the CVABC and it was like, hey, you get billboards with your package, it's like, oh, that's fantastic. And so the first time I saw a billboard up and I was like, I put that there, right? That was a huge thing for me. And it really empowered me to realize I can do things like big businesses can. Maybe not on the same scale. Like I can't put like 14 billboards up around town, static billboards that are there, but I can do this digital billboard and kind of build from there and learn, hey, I can do magazine ads. I can do this and have that actually grow our presence in Lynchburg. So
that digital board has been like one of your best.
Oh, 100%.
Those are so cool. And the
100%.
price is
that and this podcast are huge benefits to our members to be able to take advantage of. And especially for small business owners that they're not going to be able to go out and pay $1,200 for a billboard.
Right.
Even the 2 weeks
even
they get
now.
for free.
Even now, you say that, and I just I went pale. Like, to think about paying $800 a month for a billboard, I can't do that. Mm-hmm. That's not in our marketing budget. So
cut in half though. Maybe.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, do you want to ask Jesse? Does Jesse get the 2 questions?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
So I'm going to ask you 2 questions. The first, these are questions we ask every podcast guest. If you listen every week, you know what they are. I'm going to put you on the spot. What's the first question? No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, no clue.
I've listened to the episodes I've been on. Maybe
yes.
2.
I get that. Me too. Yeah. So the first question is how long have you been part of the CVABC?
So I think I came right out of college and started, being babied by Heather into the CVABC as a baby little businessman.
Little baby business owner.
A little business baby.
2018, 2019.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like the youngest kid in every room.
You're not anymore.
I am not anymore. I still am in this room except for maybe the host girl out there. But
host girl.
Yeah,
host girl.
Probably like 2018, 2019. So what is that? 6, 7 years?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely
it's
been
about 8 years.
Yeah.
Is it really? Yeah, I'm feeling old. But I've really grown into myself.
You don't have strawberry candy, so apparently you're not Jeff Woody old.
Wow.
Put Jeff out there.
Hey,
blasted
he's
him.
going to cut our mics. Please don't insult
So
Mr. Woody.
So
no, not Woody Watts. Jeff.
Okay.
So what do you think is the greatest benefit of being part of the Central Virginia Business Coalition?
I mean, that networking aspect, like being in front of all of these super important business owners, that coffee talk. Absolutely.
Okay.
Love it.
And business after hours, which, by the way, there's one tomorrow from 5:30 to 7 at 2201 Langhorne Road. It's the Visiting Angels office. They are America's choice in home care, and they will have chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles, Woody. And business Woody, off the clock.
I will be coming by your house and picking you up if you're not there.
What he's like.
You get in line with the movers.
Look, I know
it's a busy week.
I know that you don't have all your kitchen set up and stuff like that. You might as well come get a free dinner, chicken and waffles.
Take a load of boxes.
There you go.
Talk me into it.
Yeah, I am excited for chicken and waffles. We're going to chat a little bit more about events coming up soon.
Yeah.
But we are going to cut to a quick commercial
for a local business.
And we are going to come back and we're going to be talking with Don and Jesse a little bit, but we're going to be talking about some events coming up in Appomattox that you guys are going to put on your calendar.
I'm excited.
And attend and take part in. And so we will be right back. Today's podcast is brought to you by Omega Disaster Restoration, located in Campbell County, Virginia. Omega specializes in water, fire, and smoke damage restoration, as well as mold remediation. Their region includes Central and Southwest Virginia, which spans a vast service area from Blacksburg to Charlottesville and Stanton to Danville.
In addition to disaster restoration and full-service reconstruction and remodeling, Omega is proud to offer custom all-wood cabinets through their Hanover Woodworking Studio, custom countertops via their Top Solution Studio, and dumpster services through Old Dominion Dumpsters, all part of the Omega family of brands. A beautiful showroom is currently under construction at their Exchange Drive location and will be soon open to the public. showcasing their diverse offering.
Customers can call 434-616-4659 for emergency assistance with water, fire, smoke damage, or mold remediation needs. Omega provides 24/7 emergency response, ensuring that help is always available. Locally owned and not a franchise, Omega is your first and last call in any emergency, restoring your home or business from beginning to end. For more information about Omega Disaster Restoration and their comprehensive services, please visit omegadisasterrestoration.com/VA/Lynchburg. All right, so we are back.
That's a great commercial.
It was a really good commercial. And I got the pleasure of really chatting a lot with Omega this past week because they were at the home show.
Yeah, I got a hand
really
sanitizer pen thing from them.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I took from the home show because I was like, oh, I love these.
So I have had the pleasure, in the last year, I have had the pleasure of growing the CBABC out into the Appomattox area. And we've hosted some coffee talks, and we're still trying to get some businesses on board out there with what we're doing with the Central Virginia Business Coalition. But I've had the pleasure of talking with Appomattox Tourism and working with Appomattox Tourism on things that they have going on. And we have Don here with us. So welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. So you guys have something big coming up or going on. So tell us a little bit about it.
Actually, in my opinion, it's one of the top 3 Civil War events in the country.
Okay.
This is Surrender Week.
All right.
Very simply stated, on April 9th, which was a Palm Sunday, the Army of Northern Virginia, commanded by General Robert E. Lee, was surrendered to the armies of the Union under the command of Lieutenant General Ulysses S. Grant at Appomattox. It's a long story, but it was the beginning of the end of the Civil War. And that's why I call it one of the top 3 most important events of the Civil War. And it happened right here in our own backyard.
So you guys are doing basically a week-long commemoration of this event.
Yes, it actually started on Sunday and runs through this current next Sunday. And most of the events are at the Appomattox Courthouse National Park and at the American Civil War Museum.
Okay. So let's talk about some of the events that are coming up that have not happened yet that people can still go out and attend after they hear this. And, I know my daughter, actually, my youngest, my 12-year-old, I didn't even realize this till the other day. So please don't get upset with me because I just realized
I'm already upset.
She's never been to Appomattox Courthouse.
Wow.
It's a nice
Can I say something to that?
Yes.
At the 150th, I was involved in greeting guests at the national park.
Mm-hmm.
The first couple I met was from Australia. They had never been to America, and they came specifically to honor the surrender that occurred at Appomattox.
Mm-hmm.
That's one side of the story. The other side of the story, a lot of the people I talked to were locals. And guess what their comment was?
Right.
Well, we know the national park's here, but we've never been there.
Yeah.
Strange
So,
world.
Yeah, and the reason I apologize for that is because my older 2, I have a 26-year-old and a 24-year-old, and we made sure to take them. Now, granted, they used to go, or I even used to go, that was your field trip. You were going to the Appomattox National Park, to the courthouse.
Kids still do.
Right.
Both to the museum and to the national park. Field trips, you'll see this time of year and in the fall of the year, you'll see school groups out there all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shane and I actually took our engagement pictures out there.
Yeah. I have no idea how she skirted around that field trip, how that didn't happen. But she mentioned it the other day that she had not been to Appomattox Courthouse. And she asked me to go. She was like, I want to go and see it and learn. And so that is on our agenda for this summer. We're trying to make, little staycations, you go around, you do different things around your actual, your hometown and stuff. So that is on our agenda to take her and visit, because I think, Don, like you're saying, I bet you there are so many locals who just take for granted that it's there, but have never actually been.
Well, just put the whole thing in perspective, I'm not an Appomattox native.
Mm-hmm.
I was born and raised in Southwest Virginia in Bristol in the Appalachian Mountains. I've lived all over the United States. It just so happens when we decided to come back to Virginia after being gone for 50 years, we came to Appomattox. And the first thing I learned when I came to Appomattox, that 90% of the people that live in Appomattox County have no idea the depth of the history of the county,
Right.
which goes back to the Revolutionary War and Tarleton's raids and some other events. And it surprised me. And it also surprised me that the county had no tourism agency.
Wow.
So here we sit. We're a volunteer group. We're not paid. And I can do for $30,000, which many counties give hundreds of thousands to.
And you told me the numbers of how many people have come through Appomattox, like tourism wise, and they're just incredible. Like the tax revenue that you're able to bring to Appomattox just through tourism is
right.
amazing and should be recognized.
Yeah. And it's been I love it. The county and the town have finally bought into it. And what used to be a fight to try to find money is not a fight anymore.
Right.
I do have two major sponsors, the county of Appomattox and the town of Appomattox, who give me the majority of our budget. The rest we earn on our own. And we have been able to prove how much tourism we can actually physically bring.
Right.
Y'all were talking a while ago about billboards and rapidity. We have 4 billboards with the same ad on it. And that ad doesn't ever change. It's the same ad if you look in Lynchburg Living or you look in Lynchburg Home this month, you'll see that ad. That's our primary ad. And the reason we use that is simply because it tells the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody sees it. It's easy to read. And I think it should be on your, as of today, on your electronic billboard.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's on our one on Route 460.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. That's where we put it on purpose.
Yes.
But there's a lot going on. I'm sorry this is the 9th, but this is the actual surrender day.
Yep.
The recreation of surrender starts at 1 o'clock and goes to about 3, but it will be done again on Saturday. I have the events with me, but they're extensive in length.
Yeah.
The best place to find them is at historicappomattox.com. They're broken down by day, both for the museum and for the national park. And there are also some events in the surrounding area, because this whole event started on the 29th of March in Petersburg when Sheridan was able to break the Confederate siege wall at Petersburg. And it started there and actually ended in Appomattox.
Well, I just wanted to kind of highlight maybe a couple of things. I know y'all just dedicated some new hiking trails.
Yes.
That happened yesterday?
Yes.
Yeah, so they've got new hiking trails that have opened up that if you're a hiker, you want to go out and check those out. You can even take they did guided tours after they unveiled them. Y'all have an evening program and concert that's going to be happening on the 11th.
Right.
At Galilee Baptist Church. And let's see.
Let me share a little bit about those 3 events.
Sure.
The 2 hiking trails that the National Park just opened yesterday, one was the actual march route of the USCT, and that's United States Colored Troops, who were on the front lines at Appomattox. That was the intent of General Grant. He forced marched 2 corps of those USCT troops up here so that they could make the initial attack. The Hannah Reynolds Trail, Hannah Reynolds was the only civilian killed at Appomattox. She was the house servant of Dr. Coleman. We know where Dr. Coleman's house is. She would not leave that house. She stayed in that house and was mortally wounded by a cannonball. We don't know which side fired it. Took off her arm. A Union surgeon from Maine tried to save her life. I like to say she died. She was wounded when she was a slave. She died when she was free, because at 3 o'clock on April 9th, this day, 160 years ago, 4,600 blacks were free in the county. So that the Galilee Baptist Church, on the other hand, is a first Baptist church, first black Baptist church formed in the county after the Civil War. The members of that church came from Liberty Baptist Church, Liberty Chapel Baptist Church, and New Hope Baptist Church to form that church. So that church, again, is 160 years old today.
Wow.
This year.
So April 12th is jam-packed. It looks
is.
like.
Looking at the calendar, there's only 4 days from now until the end of the month. There's only 4 days that there's an event going on.
Right. Yeah. There's so much going on. I'm really excited though. It looks like on the 12th you have presentations throughout the day of all different types: firing demonstrations,
Yes.
horse programs, recreation of the stacking of arms. But the evening program features a performance by Grammy Award-winning musician Dom Flemons, who is going to examine the African origins of the banjo and sing songs of celebration and freedom. That sounds awesome. Like that definitely sounds like something people need to get to.
It is, because the 5-string banjo, as we know it today, was put together by a man from Appomattox County.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh,
See,
yes.
I learned things. And I was just in Bristol last weekend learning things like with the sessions and stuff like that, like all the different things like with the thing, but I didn't know that.
Don't get me started on my hometown.
Okay, we don't have time for. We'll have to have
We don't
another
have time for
podcast
that.
with Don for that one.
I'll come back.
And then also, you guys have an evening luminary event to honor the 4,600.
At the 150th anniversary 10 years ago, we had determined that Hannah Reynolds, the only civilian killed, had never had a funeral. We don't know where she's buried. We do not know where she is. So at the 150th anniversary, we gave her a funeral. The casket is currently located in the Carver Price Legacy Museum, which is a Black History museum in Appomattox. But we actually gave her a service, full church service, in the national park. The luminaries that will be lit again this year are representative. There's 4,600 of them. They represent the 4,600 enslaved black folks that became free at 3 o'clock today, 160 years ago.
Don, tell us a little bit before we have to go today, but tell us a little bit about why it's important for locals to come out and learn more about Appomattox. And I'm not talking about just those that live in Appomattox. I'm talking about the surrounding counties. You've got Lynchburg, Bedford, Campbell, all these surrounding areas. Why is it so important for them to come out and also, visit Appomattox?
It's extremely important because Appomattox is full of of history. And that's why I say the third most important event occurred at Appomattox. In public schools today, and I'm going to say this because I fully believe it, history is not taught anymore. The only place you're going to find history being taught is in private schools, Christian schools, homeschoolers. And quite honestly, I've dealt at all 3 levels with public schools, Christian schools, private schools, and homeschools. And it's amazing the difference in those who know history in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's very important that the folks in this area understand the history of this town. It's like Lynchburg. Lynchburg was the only city in Virginia that was not destroyed. That was a major city in Virginia, was not destroyed during the Civil War. There's a reason for that. Appomattox is as close as they got. Well, New London and the outskirts of Lynchburg. But these events formed what we know today from a history standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important because had it not been for Grant's attempt to stop Lee joining up with Johnston in North Carolina, this war would have continued. At the same time, the Confederacy advocated a guerrilla warfare. Lee was absolutely against it and failed and fought to keep that from happening. by the surrender of his army. And that's another important fact about Appomattox. This war could have continued to today, not theoretically, but it would have gone another 20 years probably, or 10 at least.
So, Don, tell us again where people can go to find more information about the events that are happening, starting, today through the weekend.
Well, you can go to Appomattox, historicappomattox.com, or you can go to Experience Appomattox Facebook page as well.
Very good.
And
Very good.
you will find all these events listed. They're listed. The National Park events are listed by day. The American Civil War events are listed by day because they will be Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm. And I will encourage you, if you do go out and check out these events in Appomattox, to also check out our local stores in Appomattox and visit, local retail. And, that's one thing with tourism, you're going out there, but you want to bring people to your area and you want people to learn more about what Appomattox has to offer.
What makes Appomattox unique?
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Well, and guess what, folks? Appomattox is not that far of a drive. I know people get all up in their feelings about going, but you don't think twice about throwing your suitcase in the car and spending all your money to go to King's Dominion for a day and ride a bunch of rides and have, fun there and things like that. But then you hear people that are like, oh, that's 20 minutes up the road. And
oh, it's too far.
It's not,
straight shot.
So much to do.
Come to me.
Yeah.
When I'm retired, but I do private tours in Appomattox.
Oh, good to know.
I've had people, I had a Canadian couple come and we spent 6 hours on the battlefield. You can spend anywhere from 30 minutes to 6 hours.
And he does this out of his heart. Like he loves
I don't charge for doing this
so much. He'll just do it out of his
heart.
Mm-hmm.
But one other event I'd like to mention tomorrow night at 6:00 at the American Civil War Museum, Don Mikowski, who is a tremendous Civil War historian, is going to do a talk at the museum, and it's listed in these events.
Wonderful. Well, and if for some reason, you go online this week, you've got, you've already got plans, maybe you can't make it out, make sure to put it as part of your itinerary to do so at some point, going forward. I know spring break's coming up for a lot of folks. Yeah. You can't come this week. Maybe next week you just take a quick trip out for the day. Yeah. You know what? I very well may do that with my daughter. Maybe her and I will go out and grab some lunch and just go explore Appomattox.
And not every day has to be an expensive day, right?
Like, that's the thing.
It's a nice... close drive. You can see a lot of cool things, and accidentally learn a lot of history, right?
Right. Yeah.
And if you get really tired, you can stay at the Appomattox Inn and Suites.
Nice play. A+.
And one thing I would say, if you do that, Heather, make sure you stop at the American Civil War Museum.
Yes, I have not been there. I have not been there, so it's definitely something on my list to do.
That the museum has done an extremely good job, and I'm going to say a little bit I probably shouldn't say here. At the museum, there is a there is a log cabin that has been moved to the museum that interprets what home life was like for a middle American family during the Civil War. It will be open this weekend. There's a group of ladies called the Pinellas Ladies. They're part of the Society of Women of the Civil War. They cook in that cabin. I can't wait. Those women can cook over that open fire. I had General Grant and General Lee there a couple of years ago, and they wouldn't leave because the women were feeding. It was funny. But the cabin will be open. There will be reenactors on the grounds at both places. There'll be canon events at both places. There's a lot going on in Appomattox this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm actually gonna put it on my to-do list and see if I can. I'd like to see if I can get the hubby and all of us to go out and just have a fun weekend and check out all the.
You can post all over Facebook about it.
No Facebook, Chris will not be posting. My husband has no social media. We laugh about that all.
I'm a little jealous.
But thank you, Don, for joining us and telling us more about the activities and things that are going to be going on in Appomattox. And hopefully, if you're listening, you guys will put it on your calendar to go out and take part in some of these activities and get a little bit of knowledge up in you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
if they do come, I will be at the national park on Saturday with my friend Joe Feaster, who will be reenacting a Union USCT color chaplain, and we will both be at the Appomattox at the American Civil War Museum on Saturday. I'll be dressed as a merchant. He'll be dressed as a chaplain.
Okay.
And I think I'm shooting a promotional video on Saturday as well.
And what kind of merch would they hand out during the Civil War, Jesse? Like
bayonets.
bayonets?
Yeah. Corn cobs and cornmeal.
There you go.
Corn liquor and tobacco.
Gray uniforms.
Gray uniforms.
Blue uniforms. Cappy hats.
I like it. So we ask every guest that comes on the podcast 2 questions. One is, how long have you been part of the CVABC? Which I don't think it's been very long, right?
How about 4 months?
About 4 months, yeah. So I think I came to a coffee talk out there and heard you talk for the first time out there. And so what do you think is it's only been 4 months, but what do you think is the greatest benefit of being part of the Central Virginia Business Coalition?
I think what you all do for the local business, we're a little bit different than a business.
Right.
But for what you all do for local businesses, small businesses, your business, is excellent. I grew up in marketing. I've done marketing all my life, and some of the things you said or talked about while I was listening just made me laugh. Because
hopefully in a good way.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, no, I'm serious about it.
Yeah.
And true, when you mentioned the fact that your billboards, you went to one solid billboard, smartest thing you ever did.
Yeah.
Because they change monthly. They're not going to look at them.
Right.
And the same with ads. That's why we use the same basic ad everywhere we go, whether it be billboards or magazines.
Right.
Because it's become our trademark.
That brand recognition builds so much trust.
Exactly.
You see it repeated over time.
Yeah, for the first 7, I want to say almost 7 years, you didn't see me without the teal dress shirt with the Visiting Angels logo on it. Like, I can't tell you how many pictures I have. My wife is like, do you have any other clothes? Because like, it's important when people think Visiting Angels, I want them to see a clear picture of me. So I dress the same every day.
You drove the car too.
And I drove the car too.
I was surprised you had a different car.
Yeah. It's seen better days. So it's currently a billboard outside our office. So it's important to build that brand recognition and be consistent, not only in your services, but in your message as well. That was really good. Where'd that come from? Boom.
I don't know. See, right now.
And see, these are the things you can do on a collaborative basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because a lot of business can't afford to do, and what you said a while ago was very important. Most people who go in business have no clue about marketing, no clue about accounting, no clue about inventory.
Yep.
They don't even know how to run a business.
Right. Or you have an issue like we had yesterday. We had somebody get hurt at work, and like, I don't know where it came from, but I was right on top of it. Had the website up and had everything in before she even got to the doctor's office to get seen to. And those are things that a lot of people don't think about
they don't
on a daily basis, because it doesn't happen very often. Like, I couldn't tell you the last time somebody get hurt at work. So like, it's been a long time. So it takes a lot of different things, and you have to have experts in your corner.
Well, I think you all do an excellent job with local. I just wish more local businesses would understand the fact that it doesn't cost very much to take advantage.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
We will quote you on that.
Yeah. Clip that quote.
We'll quote you on that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I'm going to put that on our website.
I'll talk to people.
Yeah.
So before Woody gives us the sound of music that, exits our show, I do want to throw out a couple of things, if you are listening, that are coming up. We want people to attend and be a part of. Mike already mentioned our Business Off the Clock this Thursday. We are at Visiting Angels of Lynchburg, America's Choice in Home Care.
That's right.
For chicken and waffles from 5:30 to 7. So
Woody, that's 2201 Langhorne Road.
2201 Langhorne Road.
Just down the street from me. It's not far.
And then our, we have our coffee talks coming up. We do 4 coffee talks a month. So next week on Thursday, we are in Alta Vista at the Spark Innovation Center.
It's a cool place.
Yep. From 8:30 to 10. On Friday, we are at our Roanoke Coffee Talk. We are going to be hosted by First Citizens in Vinton. So we are there from 8 to 9. And then the following week, we will be on Tuesday at the Appomattox Inn and Suites for our Appomattox Coffee Talk.
That's always a fun one, too.
Yep, from 8:30 to 10. And then our Friday, very end of the week, 25th, we are at Freedom 424. They are located off Bedford Avenue in Lynchburg. So we will be there so people can learn more about the nonprofit.
That'd be a short commute for me that day.
Yeah, Freedom 424 to see what they do. So we're excited to be there.
And Woody's even closer than I am.
Yep. And then a couple of other quick things coming up. And I will mention when we talk about the coffee talks, we were recognized this year with the Lynchburg Business Magazine. We were voted silver for best networking event in our region. So very excited for that. Come out and find out why. And then we have our putt-putt tournament, the CVABC Open. Registrations are open for that. If you're interested in getting a team together, use it as a team building experience for your staff. You can bring out your kids and family, but that is going to be on Tuesday, April the 29th from 3 to 8 p.m.
Yep. And I'm trying to get our whole office to go, and we're actually going to use it just to compete and kind of go at each other. So it's also a good stress relief.
Bring your driver.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Bring your driver.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can register for that online as well. And then our Empower Women seminar is open. Registration is open. I can promise you, ladies, if you're listening in, this is going to sell out. I think we just opened up. We've already sold over 50 tickets. I had 2 people buy tables just this morning.
Wow.
So, it is a big event. We have all of our speakers lined up. We've got them all ready to go. We're going to start announcing each one of them starting next week.
Oh, very cool.
And we have some sponsorships still available for it, but it's definitely something you're going to want to come to. Our theme this year is Recharge and Renew.
I like it.
And it's a great opportunity for women in our area to just get together and bond. And I also found out from Lynchburg Business Magazine that Empower, which is the women's program, was voted silver for best professional development workshop in our region.
I like it.
So that's
Maybe
exciting
this year, Jesse.
Yeah, that's really exciting. So just wanted to throw those things out there for you. You can find the information for all of those events and also information about our guest today at
cvabc.org. Build suspense there. I hope you all have a great week, and we will see you next Wednesday for our 200th episode.
Yes.
And Jesse's going to buy us lunch that day.
All right.